In addition to that, faced with the number of people that we lost in Egypt, the martyrs that we lost in Egypt, in this very painful phase, I have issued my instructions to carry out investigations quickly about the events of last week and to transfer these investigations to the Attorney General for him to take all the necessary steps to follow up and prosecute the perpetrators. And yesterday, I received the first report with the constitutional amendments, the priority constitutional amendments that the committee recommended to me, and also plans to study constitutional amendments that the people asked for. And I, in response to these recommendations, and according to the powers that are given to me by Article 189 from the Constitution, I have asked for the amendment of 6 articles, 76, 77, 88, 93, 95, and 97 from the Constitution. We are ready to move on and to present in the future a request for further amendments of this Constitution as amended or as requested and as is needed. These amendments will make it easier to enter into presidential election and define the presidential time and the presidential mandate, and will guarantee the freedom and the transparency of elections, and also specify and give the legislative and judicial power branch the sole authority. Also, there is a recommendation to cancel Article 179 in order to protect the country from terrorism and also guarantee the civil rights of every citizen in Egypt. And at this point, the emergency law will be declared, will be stopped at that point in a way that will guarantee the freedom and the stability and the safety of the Egyptian people. Right now, the priority, dear brothers and sisters, is to regain confidence between Egyptians and confidence in our economy and our international image. And also confidence in that the change that we started, there's no going back on it. Egypt is a great country. We cannot allow this chaos to continue. We cannot allow all of the losses that we suffer to continue day after day. This would lead Egypt into a situation that the youth who call for these changes will be the ones who suffered from it the most. The current situation does not have anything to do with myself, with my person, with Hosni Mubarak. This is about Egypt and the future of its children. All Egyptians are in the same trenches. And we must continue the national dialogue that we started as a team, but not as separate teams fighting one another, and away from confrontation. In order for Egypt to go through this crisis, and we can bring back the confidence in our economy, and can bring back stability and peace and tranquility to our citizens and to the streets of Egypt. I was a young person, as the youth of Egypt today, when I learned about the honor of the Egyptian military and faithfulness to the country and sacrificing for the country. I spent my life fighting for the country. I went through wars, victory victories and defeats. I lived through the days of occupation, and I lived through victory, and I lived the best days of my life when I raised the flag of Egypt in Sinai, and I faced death several times as a pilot and in Addis Ababa and in many other circumstances. I never faced or answered to international pressure. I kept the peace of Egypt and the stability of Egypt, and I worked for the people of Egypt and for the children of Egypt. I never sought any political power. The people of Egypt know who Hosni Mubarak is, and I'm saddened to see or to hear what I hear from some of the children of my country. In any case, I'm aware of the danger of this intersection, and I'm convinced that Egypt is going through a very crucial moment of history, of its history. Now, it is necessary to put the country first, to put Egypt first, beyond and above any other consideration. I gave the powers of the presidential powers to the vice president. I know and I'm sure that Egypt will go through this crisis, and the will of its people will never go down, and Egypt will stand up again thanks to the faithfulness and the loyalty of its people, and will fight anyone who's trying to destabilize Egypt. We will prove us Egyptians, our capability, our ability to respond to the needs of the people through dialogue. We will show that we will not follow anyone, we do not take instructions of anyone, and no one makes decisions for us except for the heartbeat of the country, of the streets, and the demands of the people of this country. We will also show the spirit and the dignity of this country, of Egypt, the identity of Egypt. It is the basis of our presence, and this has been the case for more than 7,000 years. This spirit will live in us as long as Egypt lives. This spirit will live in us as long as Egypt lives and its people live. All of us. And it will be inside the hearts of each of us, young and old, Christian and Coptics, and also in the hearts and minds of those who were not born yet, of our children. I'm saying again, I have lived for this country to carry on the responsibility of saving it, of keeping it safe. Egypt will remain the highest consideration above people and above any other consideration until I hand over that responsibility and the flag. This is the beginning of a lifetime. Egypt will continue to be a glorious country. I will never leave Egypt, and Egypt will not leave me until I am buried in the soil of Egypt. And the Egyptian people will always live in dignity and their heads up, and the flag of Egypt will also be the symbol of glory. May God protect Egypt. May God protect its people and guide them in the right way. May the peace of God and blessings of God be upon you.
All right, you have been listening to Hosni Mubarak essentially, saying he's hanging on. He isn't going anywhere, but sufficiently confusing, no doubt, Egyptians as those gathered at Tahrir Square as to what his real intentions are. In a speech that lasted about 14 minutes or so, the embattled president saying, that he has passed a lot of his governmental duties to his vice president, but no indication